Today's show brought to you by redcon1.com. That's right. Click the link at the bottom of the podcast app in which you are listening to this on. Check them out. Use promo code T20 Quartermiss. That's right. redcon1.com.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I am 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee.
Coming to you from the DTOM Studios in the free state of Florida, sponsored by Maker's Mark Bourbon, this is Don't Tread on Merica. Today it is Sunday, September 28th, 2025, and I decided to come in here and record a show instead of watch football because the Bucs are getting their ass kicked right now, and I can't deal because I got too much shit going on right now to think about to have me pissed off over a stupid-ass football game. I'm already pissed off enough. I don't need that to amplify it. But on the bright side, we made it. We survived. The end of the world. We survived. Or everyone else left and we're still here. I don't know. Anyway, like I said on that show, when we say the end of the world, people think the end of the world. The world's going to blow up. We're all going to die. We're all gone. It's not necessarily what that means. So, anyway, sorry I haven't been here for a week, but I worked like 62 hours last week. I was tired every day when I got home from work. I didn't have time to sit in here and ramble on about everything. But the good news is I'll be able to bring you probably 3 shows this week, so we'll start off with this one today. But before we get into everything, guys, please make sure you follow the show on social media. Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, and maybe TikTok for now, but we'll get to that in a minute. And also on the Twitter X machine at DTOM Podcast 1776. And of course, the website is DontTreadonMerica.com. And if you want to email me, you can. Hit me up at DonQ@DontTreadonMerica.com. You can write me and tell me anything you want. Ask any questions. But right now, we're going to crank it up a little bit with some damn Yankees. Don't Tread on America version, courtesy of one Ted Theodore Nugent. So let's crank it up on this Sunday afternoon. Or Monday morning, whenever you listen to this. Sit back. Pop an alp. Drink a whiskey. Well, I guess you can't do that if you want to work. But anyway, enjoy the music. And we'll get to business here in just a second, all right? Hang tight. All right, sing along, guys. Merica. Merica. Come on, sing along. You know the words. Merica. All right, guys, welcome to Don't Tread on America, the podcast where we plunge into the abyss of history's underbelly, armed with nothing but facts, fury, and a healthy distrust that suits pulling strings from the shadow. I'm your host, of course, Don Q, the one-man wrecking crew, exposing the grand deceptions that keep us all marching to someone else's drum. Today, hell, this whole damn episode, we're cracking open, well, a glass of whiskey. We're also cracking open some conspiracy so vast, so insidious, it could swallow the American dream whole. The modern-day Bolshevik revolution brewing in the heart of the USA, and how the fire sale of TikTok to Zionist kingpin Larry Ellison is the propaganda hammer that's going to smash any whisper of dissent against Israel and the IDF. Buckle up, folks. This is not, your grandma's history lessons. We're talking 1917 Russia reborn in the scroll of your For You page on TikTok. Bolshevik ghost rising from the grave, armed with algorithms instead of rifles. And at the center, a billionaire cabal that's got more ties to Tel Aviv than a Hasidic wedding. We'll trace the bloodlines from Lenin's red banners to Ellison's Oracle servers. We'll expose how this TikTok takeover isn't about national security. That's the sheep's clothing, but the brainwashing Gen Z into loving the empire's forever wars. And we'll arm you with the red pills to fight back before the revolution eats us alive. But before we get into it, guys, I'm going to go ahead and knock out a commercial break. How does that sound? Tired of big tech spying on your every scroll? Switch to NordVPN, the only VPN that blocks Zionist algorithms and Bolshevik backdoors. Encrypt your data from Oracle's watchful eyes and surf free from IDF donors' grips. Right now, save up to 74% on a 2-year plan. Plus, get 4 extra months free with promo code DTOM at NordVPN.com. That's as low as $2.99 a month. Try it risk-free for a 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't wait. Secure your internet today with NordVPN. Visit NordVPN and use promo code DTOM to unlock this deal. So hang tight and we'll be back in just a second. My computer is giving me fucking issues today too, so I hope to God this goes through. Swear to God. Alright guys, we're diving in. We're diving straight in. Let's start at the rotten root. The Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. Picture this. St. Petersburg, not Florida, over there. Winter's bite in the air. Tsarist Russia crumbling under war and famine. Enter the Reds, Lenin, Trotsky, and a cadre of ideologues promising bread, peace, and land. But who really bankrolled the chaos? Not just German spies slipping Lenin cash through the Swiss border. No, whispers from the shadows point to Wall Street fat cats and European bankers with hidden agendas. Anthony Sutton's bombshell book, Wall Street and the Bolshevik Revolution, lays it bare. American financiers like J.P. Morgan funneled millions to the Reds, not out of love for the markets and crush rivals. Sutton calls it the conspiracy against Russia, a velvet glove over the iron fist. And here's the poison pill they don't teach in schools: the Jewish angle. Not every Bolshevik was Jewish. Lenin wasn't, but enough were to fuel the fire of Bolshevism. That toxic myth cooked up by white Russian exiles and later supercharged by Hitler in Mein Kampf. Trotsky, born Lev Bronstein, Kremenev, Rosenfeld, that guy, Yakov. The Czech's secret police riddled with him. The protocols of the elders of Zion that forged trash peddled as proof of a Jewish plot for world domination. Tied it all together. Bolsheviks as the shock troops of a global cabal aiming to topple Christian empires. Churchill himself ranted in 1920 about the sinister confederacy of international Jews behind the Reds. Was it all slander? Sure, the numbers don't add up. Jews were maybe 5% of the party. But the narrative stuck like napalm. It justified programs, the Holocaust fever dreams, and a century of Red Scares. Fast forward to America. The Palmer raids of 1919, Hoover's FBI rounding up Bolshevik aliens, immigrants, anarchists, anyone with a whiff of leftism. The system documents, fakes claiming Lenin was a German puppet, but they sold the fear. McCarthy's witch hunts in the 50s, same playbook. Communists under every bed, with a dash of Jewish intellectuals poisoning Hollywood and state. Today, it's remixed for the TikTok era. QAnon whispers of a deep state cabal, globalists like Soros, the eternal boogeyman, and yes, echoes of that old Judeo-Bolshevik ghost. Ex-posts scream about Darien Gap migrants as Bolshevik mercenaries, flooding the border for a second civil war. Remember the BLM in 2020? Proto-revolution funded by shadowy forces. It's the same script. Fear the red tide, blame the other, while the real puppeteers, billionaires, and spooks laugh all the way to their bunkers. But why dredge this up now? Because the Bolshevik blueprint is alive in 2025 America. Cultural Marxism? That's code for the long march through institutions, universities, media, now social apps, turning patriotism into fascism, and borders into bigotry. Immigration surges? Not organic. Engineered chaos to dilute the vote, import voters for the one-party state. And the spark? Gaza protest on campus. Intifada chants twisted into Bolshevik uprisings. It's revolution by algorithm, folks. Enter TikTok. So, let's pivot into the meat of the subject. TikTok's hangover. September 2025, 3 days ago, Trump's quill scratched an executive order saving the app from the ban he could have enforced years ago. No more ByteDance overlords. Now it's a U.S. shell company, 80% of it owned by a consortium of Oracle, which is Larry Ellison, Silver Lake, and Anderson Horowitz, Michael Dell, and the Murdoch clan, Rupert and Lachlan, the Fox people. Oracle gets the crown jewels. U.S. user data, which is about 170 million people, and the vaunted algorithms that block the black box sucking in eyeballs like a vortex. The deal value is $14 billion, and it closes in 30 to 45 days. Trump calls it a huge win for security, which is bullshit. This was never about China spying, guys, and I've said this time and time again when this whole TikTok crap started. Oracle's been hosting TikTok data since Project Texas in 2020. It was about Gaza. So what is Project Texas? In a nutshell, Project Texas is a data localization arrangement involving the forcible intermediation of TikTok's America's operations by a U.S.-based cloud vendor, which was Oracle, and a new U.S. government-controlled corporation, U.S. Data Security, or USDS. USDS will be independent of TikTok. Its board members will be approved by the U.S. government and subject to layers upon layers of red tape and private audits. TikTok's presenter repeatedly said USDS would be like a government contractor. TikTok was Israel's nightmare. During the war, its algorithm flooded feeds with raw Palestinian footage, bombed kids, flattened homes, reaching Gen X untouched by CNN spin. AEDL's Jonathan Greenblatt called it the TikTok problem. Pro-Palestinian videos outpaced pro-IDF 10-1. Congress banned Push, timed with campus fury over genocide. Now Ellison is in the driver's seat, retraining the algorithm per White House whispers. Shadow bans for negative views incoming. Partnership with Cyberwell, that Israeli moderation outfit, already in play. Twitter is on fire with this. At Shaky Shalaman blasts Israel now officially controls TikTok. At Megatron Ron, full control via Ellison, IDF sugar daddy. And Glenn Greenwald nails it. Lucky break for Israel as support collapses. Who is this Oracle of Darkness? Well, Larry Ellison. He's 80 years old, 367 billion net worth, briefly topped Musk as world's richest. Born to a Jewish unwed mom in the Bronx, adopted by a Russian Jewish family, self-proclaimed skeptic, but his wallet screams Zionist zealot. Largest individual donor to Friends of the IDF, 16 million plus for troops, vets, families, 10 million at a 2014 LA gala. BFF to Netanyahu, funded digs in East Jerusalem that screams settlement expansion, or possibly temple building. Coordinated anti-BDS ops with ex-IDF chief Benny Gantz. Oracle sells surveillance tech to Israeli defense firms. Pegasus-level spyware. And get this, Oracle's roots? CIA spinoff vibes. Ellison built it on InfoRix, a database for spooks tracking nukes. Now David's snapping up Paramount, CBS, that's an $8 billion deal. He's also eyeing Warner, HBO, CNN, and Barry Weiss, pro-genocide firebrand, installed as CBS's editorial boss. TikTok plus legacy media, one party echo chamber, piping IDF straight to the dopamine receptors. Now, why am I even saying about this? Because I, on this show, talked about the importance, 3 years ago, about TikTok, and when this whole ban crap started, what was that, about a year and a half ago, and under Biden, and it doesn't matter, Biden, Trump, it doesn't matter. It really, I've gotten past the whole shit. It's all one thing, guys. It's all one group. Okay? And it pains me to say this, but one of the things that I was against the banning of TikTok is I never thought this was about Chinese spying and trying to get them to stop spying from us and whatever, because who the fuck are we? We're just making stupid videos for the most part. And then people like me, I stopped even putting clips of my show on TikTok because of this. Once Oracle started control of this, because I knew what was coming. I just do the stupid drink videos, and I haven't even done those in a while. But in all honesty, what's going to happen is, okay, let's say I take this show, this particular episode, and I break up pieces of it and put it on TikTok. It's going to get shut down, which, whatever, I don't give a shit. But the point being is this. They allowed these people to gain control of TikTok, as well as, I mean, if he ends up buying CNN also, now you're going to have two facets of legacy media and TikTok under the control of this group of people. And then on top of that, you have the guys that run Fox part of this. So as much as we can sit here and say, or even they can say, oh, Fox News, the alternate voice, blah, 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 whatever. CNN, this, it's like it's like professional wrestling. I've said this, it's like politics. They pretend to hate each other, and when the cameras are off, they're drinking beer together. They're having a good old time. And this is all involved now. They have TikTok, and I gave you guys a comparison a while back when this all started, and I think it was during the Paris riots that were going on. If you went on Instagram or Facebook Reels or something like that, and you searched certain keywords, it would show you Paris. It'd show you the Eiffel Tower. Remember the Dutch, the protest in the Netherlands, the farmers protesting and stuff. If you looked that stuff up on those feeds, it showed you windmills and, you know, people frolicking in the fields in Denmark and, and whatnot. But if you went to TikTok and searched those things, it showed you what was going on. That's all going to stop now. You're not going to get to see the real deal. You're going to have to, unfortunately, trust what you're being told. It's getting to the point where they're going to control all your information. And it's going to be hard for shows like this, not just me, just little old me, but other shows that are bigger than this to get information properly. This is Bolshevik 2.0. Not rifles in the streets, but memes in the mind. The original Reds seized the telegraph. Now it's the algorithm. Ellison's vision, a panopticon society, everyone on best behavior because Big Brother's watching. Oracle's already in Chinese surveillance cams. Now American kids, crushes, and conspiracies. Tie it back to Judeo-Bolshevism flip, not destroying the West, but remaking it in Zion's image. Flood the narrative with Israel's right to defend. Buried the 40,000 dead in Gaza. Twitter rants from @Susan Bolhawa. Zionist Jews controlling your imagination, policy, and wars. @Zaya Squirrel. Mossad owns TikTok via Epstein op. It's not paranoia if the dots connect. But I'm about to jump into a commercial because, you know, we can't fight the machine on empty tank, but real quick, something to think about. Oracle's cloud has been operating the TikTok algorithm for the past year or so. So if you think about it like this, they already have the information. They already have the users who say whatever they say. They already know who's putting out the information they're putting out, whether it's out of America or out of another country. It doesn't matter. They know who's doing what and what they're saying. You're already on a target list. But more of that when we get back, so hang tight a second. All right, guys, before we go deeper, let's breathe for a second. Heavier stuff, I know. But you know how we do around here. Truth comes first, no matter how dark it gets. This episode is brought to you by our supporters and sponsors. And let me be real, without you guys, they would have shut this platform down a long time ago. So with that, I want to give a big shout out to Alp nicotine pouches. That's right, guys, right here. If you need some of the best, most pure nicotine, check out Alp nicotine pouches. Go to alpnicotine.com/DTOM. Get 10% off for new customers. We'll be back in just a second, guys. All right, guys, we're back. We've mapped the battlefield. Bolshevik echoes. Ellison's empire. Now the master stroke. How this takeover turbocharges the revolution against Uncle Sam. Step 1. Data domination. 170 million users. That's half the voting age youth. Their likes, hates, locations, all slurped into Oracle's maw. Not for targeted ads, but for psyops. Remember Cambridge Analytica? Multiplied by Zionist Zell, Ellison's donated to the IDF morale programs. Now imagine micro-targeted vids while Israel rocks, interspersed with cat reels to slip it under the radar. Step 2, algo alchemy. White House admits retraining of the algorithms. Pre-Sal Gaza grief went viral. Post buried under IDF hero edits. Cyberwell's already flagging anti-Semitic content. Code for any IDF critic. At Occult Israel warns Ellison's FIDF cash means propaganda against the public. Now what's FIDF? That's the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces. FIDF is an American NGO that supports the soldiers, veterans, and families of the Defense Army of Israel. Not our armies, not our military people in this country. American NGO, which is a non-government organization who gets money from donations from Americans, also gets money from our government to help fund a foreign, I don't give a shit what country it is, a foreign army. And the Murdochs, Fox, promo Kirk's Turning Point youth with TikTok dances. So it's all a whole thing. It's to get, you could look at it as a good thing. Well, we're getting everyone together on the same side. But they're not. They're getting it on the side of Israel and what's going on over there. And we're going to have to pretend that nothing's happening. It's all good. This feeds the Bolshevik beast. Divide and conquer. Pump woke campuses equals red revolutionaries while scrubbing Palestinian solidarity as hate. Tie in border invasions vids framing migrants as Hamas proxies, not desperate families. On Twitter, at Waka Appa calls the Civil War itself America's first Bolshevik op. Now amplify Zionist media foments chaos to justify martial law. Soros, the fall guy, but Ellison's the real wizard. So, historical parallels scream like the Reds' agitprop ministry, Ellison's media monopoly, TikTok, CBS, CNN, crafts the Overton window. Susan Abulhawa nails the infiltration. Siphon tax dollars for Jewish supremacy wars. Caitlin Johnstone on Trump's shredding speech post-Kirk killing. Bans deportations, RICO on protesters, all to muzzle Gaza truth. It's the revolution inverted, not from below, but imposed from billionaire bunkers. Now, I want to make myself clear when I say what I'm saying is not in support of Hamas and Iran and these things going on over there, but we have to look at the people that live in Gaza, the Palestinian people who are paying for all of this, essentially, with their lives and their livelihoods. And I think this all ties back to the show I did the other day about the Synagogue of Satan. If you haven't listened to it, I encourage you to do so. This all ties in. And as we start to reach the halfway point, we have a lot going on here, guys. The machine doesn't rest. Neither do we, but we will take a break to hydrate, reflect, and rage. And we'll do this quick commercial here, but I got to take a sip. My throat's getting dry here. Good thing I made a big glass today. Locked in the Matrix? Break free with Liberty Gold. Physical gold bar stamped with anti-Zionist seals. Hedged against the coming red reset. Code DTOM gets free shipping. LibertyGoldNow.com. Own the future, not their fiat lies. I'll be back in just a second, guys. All right, guys, round 3. If I had a bell, that'd be cool. Ding, ding. Resistance and revolution. We've exposed the plot. Now, the playbook. First, boycott the beast. Delete TikTok. Yeah, it hurts, but Red Note's rising. Although it's just another Chinese social media app. But maybe maybe this is a dawn of a new era of getting off of social media. I mean, if you're on social media, follow the show, whatever. But I mean, I don't really get on there a whole lot, to be honest with you. I'm on Twitter mostly, getting show prep and stuff like that, because even that's starting to get a little sketchy. It was brought back by Musk and the whole free speech type thing, but even now it's starting to get a little, they're starting to ban people again and all this stuff. So it's getting to the point where do you turn? In all honesty. But you can amplify indie voices. Substack, Rumble, this very podcast. And speaking of Rumble, follow this show on Rumble and DontTreadonMericaTV. Second, demand transparency. FOIAs on Oracle's IDF contracts. Congressional probes into algorithm retraining. Third, reclaim the narrative. History's not destiny. Bolsheviks fell because the people woke up. Tsarist whispered conspiracies. We shout them from the rooftops. Tying the noose. This isn't isolated. Ellison's surveillance wet dream. Oracle in every cop cam, feeding facial recognition to fusion centers. Bolshevik Cheka 2.0 and the revolution's endgame. A one world order where dissent's a glitch. Purged by code, but cracked show. Twitter is alive with fury at JFMac 4891. Zionistas by TikTok for propaganda. At Lorraine Harvey puts censorship florist. I'm sorry, I'm getting game updates and the Bucks are still getting their ass kicked. Jesus Christ. Kate Saws on Trump's speech clampdown exercise are excuses for tyranny. So, the final red pill. It's all connected. Bolshevik myths birthed Nazis. Now flipped. They birthed this surveillance state. But we choose the ending. Rise like the whites in 18, not with pitchforks, but pixels and persistence. And I don't know that I have the answer to this, guys. I got to be honest with you. I think in the past, 10 years, we as a people on all sides, it doesn't matter if you're right, if you're left, if you're libertarian, if you're centrist, if you're just seeing whatever you see. I think for the people, in all honesty, I'm going to say this. For the people that use TikTok for entertainment, you fall into an algorithm of videos, of stupid pet videos and just random influencers. I'll use Justin Danger Nunley, for example. I like watching his videos. He doesn't talk about anything in particular. He just, listen, did you know, blah, 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 whatever. And it takes your mind away. Or you fall into, I don't know, just stupid things, and it takes your mind off of whatever. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't see that as a bad problem. But some of you guys, if you're on TikTok, you can understand what I'm about to say. You might fall into a different category of an algorithm. But if you've noticed, and I didn't really think about it a whole lot until I started prepping for this particular episode, that my algorithm, my For You page, for example, I don't see anything anymore. I mean, I guess I could go on there right now, just out of curiosity.
When the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Skip that ad. So For You, God wants you to read this in silence. I guess I shouldn't read it. So maybe I'll save and read it later. How fast guys become friends. It's just all different things. Whereas before, Ninja's Waffle Maker. Different college things. I mean, nothing spectacular. Wrestling stuff.
7 U.S. states infested with demonic power. am not exaggerating.
I mean, I get this. 7 U.S. states infested with demonic power. So there's something. But then there's Barbie, and there's $5 million, and there's football stuff, and there's a chick transformation starting at 142 pounds. And, you know, so I don't see the stuff I used to see. I don't see certain people that used to post on TikTok about what's going on in the Middle East or in other countries. Anti-mainstream media. So it's already started. Now, I still see the stuff on Twitter, and I'm still able to put the show together using that. But, and if I stumble upon something, or if Chris does send me something via TikTok, I can't even save it. Like, if I don't screen record it on my phone, it's gone. And I've said this before, that don't believe everything you hear on Twitter. If you see something on Twitter, anything I see on Twitter that is interesting to me, I immediately try to look it up to see if it's true or if it's just someone saying shit about something. And I don't know, 50% of the time it is just that, but also 50% of the time it's actually something there. But those things are going away. A lot of the times what I actually see is how to prepare for an invasion. I saw this one yesterday. The states most likely to be invaded first. And I didn't think much about it. I was just like, oh, curious. I wonder where Florida falls in that. But then I started thinking about it. It's like, why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing videos on how to prepare for a nuclear war? How to prepare for this and how to prepare for that? Why am I seeing that now? It's almost like they're telling us to get ready without telling us to get ready. And it's almost like they put these videos out there, because it's not like I don't imagine, maybe they are, but I would assume it's just random people making videos. Maybe it is the government. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's targeting people like me. Your For You page isn't people you follow. You can go to the following page. I don't really follow a whole lot of people on TikTok. So your For You page is where you fall in the algorithm. So it is something to think about. If you're on TikTok, or if you get on, even on Facebook or Instagram on the Reels, it's basically the same thing. You fall into that algorithm, and they've all been retrained. When they say the word retrain the algorithms, essentially what that means is to delete the stuff that they don't want you to see. Because in this country, I feel like we have a problem that we forget very easily. And this show in particular, because who am I? You know, I'm just a dude with a full-time job and a part-time podcast. And I try to get these shows out as much as I can. But what I do is, when I get done, I'll post the show on my Podbeam, on my podcast distributor. And unless you're following the show on whatever podcast app you're listening to this on, whether it be Apple or Google or Spotify or Podbeam or Pandora, iHeart, Amazon, Samsung Free, whatever's out there, we're on every single platform right now. So unless you're following the show, you don't know there's a show. And unless you happen to search the subject matter in which I'm talking about, you won't find the show. Now, granted, these last 2 weeks, with the untimely and unfortunate death of Charlie Kirk, the show's kind of blown up a little bit, which is a good thing. So I do welcome all the new listeners. And I encourage you guys to please help me out with this, because what I'll do is I'll take this show, I'll post it on Facebook, I'll post it on Twitter, and no one sees it. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you. You go to, just for an example, I'll give you an example. I'll go to Twitter. I'll go to my profile. I'll go to my profile. And I'm not stuttering. I'm just trying to get this goddamn thing to work. So the last show I posted was on September 22nd. So it was 6 days ago. That was the Synagogue of Satan, right? 40 people saw that. 40 people. That was the amount of interactions that we had. 40 impressions, 2 engagements, and 1 detailed expansion. So, it doesn't matter how many followers I have. I have more than 40. So even most of my followers didn't even see this post. So what does that mean? No one sees it on Facebook. I'll post it on the page. I have over 1,000 followers on Facebook. I know it's not a lot. You guys might be like, I got 5,000 myself. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. This show is a niche. And if you're listening to this, you're not following the show, shame on you. But that's my point. If I have over 1,000 followers on Facebook, on the show's Facebook page, and no one's seeing what I'm posting, you would think if you're following the show, you should see what I post. That's because it's being shadow banned. And the people that follow me personally, because I'll share that, once again, no one sees it. Twitter, the free speech platform that it is. 40 people saw that. So when I say the things I say, I encourage you guys to please be sure to follow the show. Whatever podcast app you're listening to this on, follow the show. It doesn't cost you anything to follow this show. It literally costs you $0. I don't ask for money. If you want to go hit the sponsors up, great. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to go to the DTOM Store and buy a t-shirt, you can support me that way, that's great. I don't even take any profit from that. I just want you to wear the shirt or buy the stickers and put them on your vehicle or whatever. It's not even about the money, because I give that to Tunnels of Towers. It's about getting eyeballs on the show, not to put money in my pocket. I have a job and I make good enough money that I'm not necessarily worried about it. If the show were to blow up and I could make money doing this show, that'd be great. But that's not my main goal. My main goal of doing this show is getting the information out to you guys. And then if you enjoy and you find what you're hearing interesting, then you should be sharing it with your people, with your friends. And if you're embarrassed to let them know what you really think, then shame on you for having those people as friends. There's going to come a time when my voice and voices like mine are silent, because they could shut me off like that and it wouldn't even matter to them, because I'm not Joe Rogan. Who the fuck am I? If this show went away tomorrow, you guys wouldn't even know the difference. And that's the problem. I don't worry about sponsorship dollars to push this show. I don't sit here and video this show and put it on YouTube. Why? Because I know I'm going to get flagged. I know I'll lose my page on YouTube. I don't give a fuck about that. Okay? There's a lot of things I say on this show every time I do a show that there's no way in hell I would ever make money on YouTube. You want to help me out? Follow me on Rumble. You don't have to pay for that. It's free. Make a fucking profile. Follow the show. Watch it. Hell, don't watch it, but turn it on and throw your phone in the couch and watch TV. I don't give a fuck. Just let it play. Seriously. That's how shows like this make money. Could I make more money on YouTube? Of course. Could I possibly even support myself on YouTube? Sure. This show would be a hell of a lot different. You wouldn't hear half the things I say. And what fun is that? I'd rather be self-supporting financially to do this show. But we want to really hurt these people. We really want to make an impact. Blow this show up. It's up to you. You guys have the power. I can't just keep spending money to promote this show. I need you guys to promote it for me. And it doesn't cost you anything. If I promote the show, it costs me money. So, anyway, I guess that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully, we have, let me get my right music going here, a better second half here with the Buccaneers. And I go to sleep in a better mood. Chances are that's not going to happen because they're getting their ass whooped by 3 touchdowns right now. Anyway, that's our dive we went almost an hour, 45 minutes, I guess, whatever. But the light's breaking. Stay vigilant, spread the word, and remember, the revolution they fear is the one we build together. Guys, make sure you follow the show on social media as long as we're here. Don't Tread America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, and TikTok for now. I don't do anything on TikTok but drink videos, so if you want to learn how to make some drinks, go there and watch the show. If you want to email me, hit me up, DonQ at DontTreadonMerica.com. And, of course, the website is DontTreadonMerica.com. And don't forget about the Twitter X is at DTOM Podcast 1776. And, yeah, I think that's it. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a great work week. I'll be back on Tuesday. So like I said, if you're following the show, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that little button, whatever it is up there in the corner. And that way you get show updates when I do a show. I should be here Tuesday and Thursday. 3 shows. I already have them written. We're ready to rock and roll. And then I'm going to work on some shows because I'm going on vacation in a couple weeks. So you'll have something to listen to then. I already got them written. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you Tuesday. See ya.